Topping today's news, the nurses union defends one of their own after a suspension and calling for improved working conditions. More from the opening of the newly renovated embassy in Washington, D.C. Carjackings becoming a growing cause for concern here in the capital, and 6 new members added to the Bahamas Sports Walk of Fame. This is your JCN Evening News. I'm Jcn Saunders. Thank you so much for joining us. On Monday, we told you of the reopening of the newly renovated Bahamas Embassy in Washington, D.C. Some 90 diplomats attended the ceremony hosted by the Bahamas ambassador to the United States, Mr. Wendell Jones. Prime Minister Philip Davis was also in attendance to officially open and name the new multi-million-dollar facility in honor of Livingston B. Johnson, the first Bahamian ambassador of the Bahamas to the USA. He spoke about why Mr. Johnson is so deserving of this honor.
Find most is not achievement, but service. When independence came, and our young country sought its first voice in the world, Livingston Johnson was asked to serve. He accepted without hesitation. He became the first Bahamian ambassador of the United States and our first representative to the United Nations. He came to Washington with no grand entourage, no long tradition of statecraft to draw from, only his integrity and his belief that the Bahamas, small though it might be, could stand with pride among the nations of the world. And so he did. He won the respect of those who met him, not through rhetoric or ceremony, but through quiet strength and reliability. He represented our country with dignity, intelligence, and grace. He showed the world what kind of people we are. It is an honor. It is in his honor, that service, that the example he set, and the example that he set, that we name this building, the Livingston Johnson.
The LBJ building is at 2200 Massachusetts Avenue, and it is owned by the Bahamian government, the people of the Bahamas. The Prime Minister went on to speak about the importance of the embassy in terms of the Bahamas' relationship with the United States.
This embassy stands as part of that group. It is not simply a structure of walls and glass, but a living statement that the Bahamas will not retreat from the world, but will take its rightful place within it. Here, our diplomats will represent a country that values honesty, fairness, and competence. Will speak for people who are as warm as our waters and as determined as our ancestors who built the nation from the ground up. This chancellery will help shape our relationship with the United States, our closest neighbor and long-standing friend. It will strengthen cooperation in areas that matter deeply to both of us: security, climate resilience, trade, and education. It will remind us all who enter that friendship between nations must be built on sentiment but on shared purpose.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Fred Mitchell, congratulated Ambassador Jones and his team for a job well done. During the ceremony, Prime Minister Davis presented several veteran Bahamian Foreign Service workers with medals of honor. We'll have more from that opening in another report. The Bahamas Nurses Union, led by President Muriel Lightbourne, held a press conference on Monday to address the 10 days suspension of one of their members who took to social media to complain about poor working conditions at the Princess Margaret Hospital. The union leader says Pearl Williams, a veteran nurse of 44 years, was wrongfully suspended after making an appeal to the Prime Minister to fix the problems at the Princess Margaret Hospital, including a rodent infestation and leaking rooftops.
It was something that could have been discussed. Like I said, she is a 40-year nurse. Number 2, we do already have a problem with retention of nurses. Number 3, we are short staff on nurses. So I don't see the reason for putting her on suspension for 10 days for investigation purposes when we do have a problem in our hospitals as it pertains to health and safety. Nobody wants to lay down in a hospital where there are rodents. The conditions in the hospital, there are some conditions in the hospital, yeah, there are some wards that were leaking, and those things we would have forwarded to the relevant persons to have those matters addressed.
The Public Hospitals Authority is accusing Nurse Williams of breaching the rules by discussing internal matters on social media. Both the Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Michael Darwell, and the former Minister of Health, Free National Movement Chairman, Dr. Dwayne Sands, they do not support the suspension, especially at a time when the country is short some 500 nurses. However, the union's president not convinced that the two men are genuinely concerned, as she says both of them have been aware of the challenges at the Princess Margaret Hospital for quite some time. The Bahamas Agriculture, Health and Food Safety Authority says improving food business registration will be a major focus going into 2026. Officials say the push is part of the effort to modernize the system, strengthen compliance, and make the process easier for vendors across the country. Director of Food Safety and Quality, Dr. Patricia Johnson, says the goal is to help more food operators understand how simple the registration process is.
Well, the registrations, like I said, the registrations, making sure that people know about us, and that's the purpose of this event, that they know who we are, and they know what we do. We have the information that is there. We have a form that speaks specifically, this form right here, for example, this speaks specifically to 10 steps to register your business. And a lot of persons have called us and have come in, and if we can walk you through that process, and you can do that over the phone. You can register on your phone, on your laptop, on your computer, or you're free to walk into our office. And we've had persons come in and register with us. We try to make it seamless. The annual fee is $50, and everything is done online. They receive their registration certificate once they submit everything to us, like the food handler certificate or the pest control contract or waste management contract. And if everything is found to be in order, they get the registration certificate immediately. What they have to then wait for is the inspection, and that's on a first come, first served basis.
Johnson says the streamlined registration system is part of the authority's wider plan to expand its reach into the Family Islands next year, ensuring every vendor, restaurant, and food producer meets national safety standards. And finally, in this segment, carjackings continue to be a cause for concern, further degrading the quality of life here in the capital. Police are investigating an incident that took place around 11 p.m. on Monday at Saunders Beach, where a man and his female companion were parked when two men with firearms approached them, threatened the victims, and robbed them of a brown 2010 Nissan Cube and electronic devices. The suspects then entered the vehicle and fled the scene, heading south along New Providence Highway towards the Six Leg roundabout. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back after these commercials.